Hello everybody, and welcome to another edition of the D-Pad Discourse. This edition will be for the first half of January 2015. Alright, well, the new NPD stats came out, and the Xbox One was the top selling console in North America during the month of December 2014. It outsold the PS4 and the Wii U, and it was another month in which the Xbox One outsold both of them. The first month during 2014 was in November, and it outsold them again in December. So the Xbox One had a really good holiday season in North America in 2014. But even though the Xbox One was a top selling console in North America, the PS4 and the Wii U, surprisingly, still had good sales in December. PS4 was right behind the Xbox One, and the Wii U had its highest month in sales in North America in December. So it was a really good month for all three consoles in December. And again, it just further shows that people want consoles, and consoles are not doomed. Now, the gap, thanks to the Xbox One performing so well during the holiday season, the gap between the PS4 and the Xbox One in North America has closed a little bit, and it's pretty close. We'll see whether or not, with the new price that Microsoft set for the Xbox One to $350, if the Xbox One will stay like this and keep on outselling the PS4 in North America in sales for the months of 2015. But if it does, then I could see the Xbox One surpassing the PS4 in sales in North America and becoming the #1 console in North America. Now, it will more likely never surpass the PS4 in sales. The PS4 is at 18 million. Sony announced that a few weeks back, that the PS4's worldwide sales were at 18 million. But if the Xbox One is #1 in North America in terms of sales, it will be a really good spot for the Xbox One to be in, because when you're the #1 console in a territory that is, you know, really big in terms of video gaming like North America is, then none of the major third-party developers or publishers will want to ignore the console. You know, it'll just be them missing out on sales if they ignore it. You know, you have all these games coming out now and in the future that are very high in budget, and it will just not be a smart idea to ignore the system that's in the #1 spot in North America. So we'll see what happens in 2015, but this past holiday season for the Xbox One was really good, and we'll see if that continues on into this year, 2015. Alright, now Nintendo had another Nintendo Direct this past week, and it was mainly focusing on the new 3DS XL. Now, the new 3DS XL will come out in North America next month in February, and the regular 3DS, the new regular 3DS, won't be coming to North America. And I don't really know why. Nintendo hasn't really explained themselves pretty well in terms of why it won't be coming out, but I think it's stupid, because there was a lot of people who were anticipating getting the regular size new 3DS model and who didn't want to get the new 3DS XL. But what's even sillier to me is the fact that the new 3DS XL won't come with an AC adapter, which is pretty crazy. I mean, I guess Nintendo thought that people in North America that are getting the new 3DS XL just have, you know, a bunch of old 3DS or DS AC adapters just around the house, like Apple USB cords or what have you. But it's really stupid, and a lot of people who want to get the new 3DS XL want to trade in their older 3DS models to get it, but many in-store policies require you to have an AC adapter. So that just makes that whole situation frustrating. And then on top of that, you got to put into factor the people who are getting the new 3DS XL in the future, and that model being their very first 3DS, you know, people who never owned a 3DS before. And those people expect a technical device to have some way to plug it in, you know, adapter inside the box, because just about everything else, at least that I can think of, that's a tech device in North America, has at least a plug or a USB or something to power up the device. But the new 3DS XL won't have that, and that's really stupid. It seems like Nintendo was really focusing on keeping the device at the $199 price, when I feel that all they could have done was just put the AC adapter in the box, make the system maybe $210 or so, and people wouldn't mind spending that much on a new 3DS XL, on top of, you know, people not having to deal with this whole mess due to the AC adapter not being in the box. So I don't know what Nintendo was thinking in terms of that, but we'll see what happens. I'm pretty sure that there'll be even a bigger uproar about the new 3DS XL not having an AC adapter when the device releases here in North America in February. Alright, in other news, Microsoft revealed, well, I shouldn't say revealed, but they announced that Forza Motorsport 6 will be coming out soon. It'll be coming out sometime this year. Now, some people kind of weren't that excited about this announcement, and I can understand, you know, people saying, you know, Forza Motorsport 5 wasn't my type of game, so I'm not interested in Forza Motorsport 6. But people were bringing in Forza Horizon 2 into the mix, saying that there's too many Forza games coming out, and I don't really understand it. I mean, Forza Horizon 2 and I should say the Forza Horizon series, in comparison to Forza Motorsport, has many differences. Forza Horizon is more sim arcade nature, is developed by a different team, has a different presentation, different gameplay style, you know, different menus, different music, just overall different feel and vibe. And Forza Motorsport is strictly a sim racer, and it has sim gameplay, and it's developed by a different team. So the only real similarities that both games have is that both of them are racers, and both of them have the Forza name, and that's it. And it seems like people, you know, don't want to admit to the fact that that many of them are saying, you know, there's too many Forzas, mainly due to the Forza name, instead of, you know, there actually being a lot of Forza games, because Forza Motorsport has always been a series that came out every 2 years. This year will be the Forza Motorsport series 10th anniversary. You know, they definitely weren't going to skip out on that, and I'm assuming that there will be like some type of 10th anniversary collector's edition for the game. But anyway, it'll be similar to saying that, you know, if EA announced a new NBA Street, and you know, you'll see people get mad at the fact that they're announcing this a few months after EA released NBA Live 15. You know, have people say, EA, you guys are making too many EA NBA games. You know, and it just won't make sense. You know, even though both of them are EA NBA games, they have different play styles, or they will more likely be developed by different teams, and they have, again, different presentations. So it's pretty silly. I don't know if people are doing it because they actually feel that the Forza name is being used too much, or if they're just doing it because they just want to concern troll. But overall, Forza Motorsport 6, I'm going to be interested in it. I'll more likely get it, but the game better have weather and night racing, because if it doesn't, then that will be really, really pitiful. So we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to seeing some gameplay. Alright, now in other news, the Sling TV service will be coming to the Xbox One, and people who have Xbox Live Gold will be able to get a free month of the service. Now Microsoft and Sling TV have said that the service will start sometime this month, so I'm guessing it will start any day now, maybe sometime next week. But this service is, in my opinion, pretty big, because this service will let people stream cable networks like ESPN, TNT, and Disney for $20 a month. And this service will attract many people who have cut the cord, or who are thinking about cutting the cord, you know, people who are thinking about dropping cable TV. And a lot of people are realizing that a lot of cable networks that focus on really specific topics, the content that they make can either be found on the web to stream for free, or people are making similar content to what those cable networks have, either via YouTube or Vimeo or other social video sites. For example, you know, why do I need all these food networks or these style and fashion TV networks when there's many people on YouTube who are experts about those topics and are putting up shows or videos for people to watch for free? You know, it's not necessary. So what people want are the channels that provide people something that you can't get via YouTube or Vimeo, and that mainly consists of the live sports and the high budget dramas and comedy shows. You know, the networks that have the high budget live action drama or comedy shows. So due to Sling TV having ESPN, that's a pretty big deal for many people. Now, Sling TV will be exclusive to the current gen. Be exclusive to the Xbox One, and it won't be on the other current gen consoles. Now, due to that can make somebody even more interested in the Xbox One, especially somebody who is a cord cutter. And this service will be very good for people who already have Hulu and or Netflix, and have an antenna for the local major networks. It will be a good package to have together when you put all those things together. So we'll see what happens in terms of this service. I mean, this service has a lot of promise, but there's still some questions about it, whether or not it will have good stream quality, whether or not the channels that are announced for it currently will be removed in the future. We'll see what happens, but overall this service is looking to be pretty big, and it's going to be interesting to see in what ways Microsoft will try to partner up with Sling TV to make the Xbox One more attractive to people who are interested in these type of features, features in which they can drop cable TV. And to end off this edition of the D-Pad Discourse, Sony announced that the PS Now service will have monthly subscriptions instead of making users rent games, by a per game basis. People will be able to rent as many games, stream as many games as they want by subscribing to one of two monthly subscriptions. There'll be one for 1 month, which I believe is $20, and another one for 3 months, which is $45. Now, while these prices are much better than having people, get the games on a per game basis, I still feel that that the subscriptions are too high, especially when you add in the fact that Sony has other services that they're trying to push, such as PlayStation Now, PS Plus and PlayStation View, which will be coming soon. What Sony should do, in my opinion, is try to make it so that all their services can be had by somebody for one price per year. So put PS Plus, PS Now, and PS View all together and make it one price per year, maybe like $150 or so. And that will be better because, all these services, some people don't have money to pay for all these services, and some people may may dismiss one service because they're getting the other two, or vice versa. So if Sony found a way to put all those services together under one price or one subscription plan, then that will be much better. And on top of this, as you may already know, the PS4 had many issues due to the denial of service attack that was happening during the Christmas holiday season, and that attack made many people who were getting the PS4, who got the PS4 as a Christmas present, or people who wanted to play on the PS4 online during the Christmas holiday season, it made them pretty mad, and it gave the whole PSN, Sony's network, it gave it a pretty bad rep. Even though it was a denial of service attack, and you can't really avoid those attacks, it still gave PSN a pretty bad rep. So what Sony should do is try to find ways to make people more confident about PSN. And Xbox Live also had issues during that time, during the holiday season. It also had its own denial of service attack, but Xbox Live wasn't down for as long as PSN was. PSN was down for, I believe, 2 or 3 more days in comparison to Xbox Live. So Sony needs to work on making people more confident about PSN, PSN stability. And they need to do it because they're pushing out all these online services, And people are going to say, you know, why should I subscribe to all these online services when you can't even keep your service up for, you know, a whole month or so? You know, if the service is going to be down every so often, then I'm not going to pay money for these services. So Sony should look into making or finding ways to make people more confident about PSN stability, and just as I said before, making or finding a way so that all the services that they're pushing via the PS4 can come together under one price or one subscription plan, since that will be better instead of having people you know, only be able to get these services separately, because, you know, some people will find it too much, or, you know, or people will find it to be too many services, especially if they're subscribing to services outside of Sony's own subscription plans. Because, you know, Sony and the PS4, the PS4 has support for other apps outside of Sony's own apps, such as Netflix and Hulu. And, you know, once you get to, say, 3 subscription plans, that becomes a lot. So again, Sony should find a way to make it so that all their subscription services can be under one plan, and that'll be easier for many users on the PS4. Alright, well, that was another edition of the D-Pad Discourse. I hope you guys enjoyed it. New episodes of the D-Pad will be coming soon, probably sometime next week. I'm doing the editing work for them now, so they should be coming out sometime next week. They'll be focusing on the some of the biggest games that came out late in 2014, and or their DLC content updates. So look out for that, and hopefully you guys will be coming back for another edition of the D-Pad Discourse. Until then, I'll see you. Alright, goodbye everybody.